Hey there, this is Malorian, and these will be some battle reports from Steamroller I went to in Grand Prairie. The guys up there, I mean, it's 5 hours away from where we are, but they come down all the time, so it's the least we could do to grab a van full of guys and head up there, and these will be those games. Now, of course, I have all the usual meta things I have to deal with Haley2 and Bradagus and all the other nasty things you see. And so for my pairing, I decided to take my siege list, which is pretty close to my old one, but I dropped out the blazers for the Nis hunters. And then as well, I have a new Haley2, kind of a combat spam, but we'll get to that list when you get there. First game is going to be siege, and that's because I was up against Crix. And the caster he dropped here was Epic Scar. Epic Scar isn't a caster I see very often. You know, normally it's the regular Scar, but it should be interesting. I mean, this is a guy, his name is Chris, he's from Grand Prairie, and I have never played him before. I have no idea if, you know, he's been playing for 10 years or brand new, and so it's always interesting to have games like this where you never know what to expect. Alright, so on my side here, I am running Siege with the Stormwall and Squire. I have the Rangers, Gun Mages UA, also Reinhold, Black 13th, Harlan Versh, Ian Holt, and then also the Nis Hunters. On his side, he is running the Death Jack and also a little Death Chicken there on the right side. There'll be 2 Pistol Wraiths, there'll be Gorman, there will also be Stitch Thralls in the back, and a little mechanic guy there. Slaughterborn, Siren, and Orin Midwinter, I believe, is here as well. Now, the scenario here, of course, is first 1 to 5. I believe it was also Killbox, can't really quite remember right now, but you get 1 for dominating the close zone, 1 for controlling the far zone, and 2 for dominating it, but you can't do that till you destroy their objective, and destroying the objective is worth 1 as well. Now, I don't really think this one will come to scenario. I'll go for scenario if possible, but I'm more going to be going for attrition and, if possible, trying to just kill Scar. You know, that's always the best thing, especially in a list like this where he doesn't have a lot of stuff. I'm assuming he's going to try and hide behind the Kraken, and if he does that, I'll just do a foxhole and shoot him from behind. But we'll see what happens. I mean, new opponent, who knows what this guy's going to do. So I went first turn, I'm going to be putting 1 in the Stormwall, and really everything is running up. I mean, I'm not trying to get all the way up. I could be. I want to, not give him free things to shoot at with the Kraken, but otherwise I'm just making the foxhole and waiting to see what he presents to me. So on his turn, he really is running up here with a lot of stuff with Perdition, I think it's called. Death Jack is able to kill off a couple of guys here on the from the Rangers. I was actually kind of worried that Death Jack would be kind of going after Stormwall, but he's going more off on the left side, probably because he figures his Kraken can deal with Stormwall without any, you know, what's Arcane Shield? Jeez, why can't I remember that name? Anyway, he also has Gorman there, but the biggest thing that happened at the end of this turn is that he is going to be popping his feet, and so the models that I can't attack is Death Jack, Gorman, Scar, Slaughterborn, and the Arc Node. So she took 5 damage to do that, and that's going to make it kind of a big deal. You know, with Death Jack in my grill and all these other things, you can't really jam Death Jack that well, and I mean, I could try and jam up there with the Kraken, but then he has Slaughterborn as well that could just go through killing tons of guys. Maybe the Nis with their high defense could hold them off, but this really isn't the best situation. So what I'm going to do then is then I kind of looked at it and I thought, wow, I think I could actually kill him, because with the feat, I can't target him and I can't charge her, but I can slam things through her. And the distances look about right, where I could run somebody up, do a power strike to slam it through her. I could then shoot something like a pod with a Black 13th. I could go up with Siege after that, popping feet. I could then do a Force Hammer to smack something else through her. And I could also be doing a Ground and Pound, I believe, as well. And with feet there, finish her off. I mean, again, she's already lost 5 damage. So that's what I'm going to do. If it fails, I'm kind of in a lot of trouble, but we'll see. And really, it goes the way I kind of hoped. First thing that happens is the Rangers run up to jam just in case and also get the one where I needed to. I do the power strike. It goes the distance I need to hit into her. I believe I need to roll a 4+, so this part of the plan was a 50-50, but I scored that one, knock her down, not that it matters. Put a pod by her, shoot the pod, and that damage alone is able to kill her. So, yeah, I mean, there you go. Kind of a quick victory. And nothing where you'd normally want that against a new opponent. I mean, it'd be better for me to have a longer game to learn this opponent and feel them out for what their game style is. But, I mean, hey, it's just a fast one. He was asking after what he could have done differently. And, of course, I mean, keeping Scar a little bit back. You think she's safe with the feet up, but I mean, those slams are one of those things that can get past it. So you kind of got to go watch out for that. I mean, same sort of thing with like Saren, and that's really it. He just got a little bit too aggressive, and had he not and had Scar farther back, this would have been a much more difficult game for me to deal with. But either way, there's one game in the books. Alright, second game, I'm going to be still going with Siege, and now I'm going to be up against Epic Hexus. And this guy is going to be Christian. He's a local guy. You would have just seen this army on my Wednesday War Machine video, and it's kind of too bad that, you know, the second game is against a local guy, but it's going to happen. We had 17 people at the event, and I'm going to be meeting local guys. So this should be interesting. We don't really play all that often, and we'll have to see what happens here. Alright, so like I said, I'm running the same Siege list. He is running Epic Hexus, running the Drake, the Raider, and the big old awesome Mammoth. For those who don't remember, I mean, this army is painted awesome. So yeah, this is a treat just to see across the board. There's also the posse there with the Taskmaster. There's going to be Orin Midwinter. There's going to be a Willbreaker. There's going to be a Gladiator. And there's going to be the Pain Givers. Don't think there's anything else, but that's really it. The scenario here, I believe, was not death. I don't think it was kill box. I don't know, but a lot of times both of us are getting pretty up for these things anyway. I don't think this one was kill box. Anyway, you get 1 for dominating the close zone, 1 for controlling the far one, 2 for dominating the far one, and then you can get 1 for destroying the enemy objective. Now, part of the issue here is this goddamn train on the right side of the board. Between that and the objective, I really need to get over to defend my zone against the Mammoth, who out-threatens me, and yeah, I have this big train to deal with. So what I'm hoping to do is really go for the attrition in this one. I'm going to be focusing more on the left side, using the feet to kill off all those gators, and then really on the right side, just try and contest it with gun mages and slow things up. And hopefully with my shots, bring down the Mammoth, and once that happens, then I'm safe. But it's going to be interesting. Alright, so I get first turn, same sort of thing. Foxhole, goodness, you know, my objective makes it 1 cheaper, and I'm really just running up and getting ready. Now, again, I was kind of worried about the Mammoth shots. The Nis and the Rangers could have been a lot more forward, but I was giving them quite a bit of respect. You know, those Mammoth shots can really do a lot of damage, especially if they just scatter to right spot. So I am being a little bit chicken right now, but, you know, I'm just playing it safe. So we get to his turn, and he does a few things I didn't expect. First of all, his shots from the Mammoth, he actually was going more for the Centaur, trying to kill Harlan Versh, and it fails. So really, now seeing what his priority was, I probably could have been a lot more aggressive, especially pushing up just the left flank. He also does not put Ashen Veil up on the Gators, knowing about Harlan Versh, and puts it onto his caster, which is right there behind the Gladiator. Now, when this is all done and everything has done their things, I'm looking at this and I'm starting to wonder if I can get this one by assassination too. So what I'm looking at is a lot what I had last game, but with no feat saying you can't attack me. What I'll do is charge up with Siege, pop my feet, do a Force Hammer to the Gladiator, slamming it into Hexus to knock him down, doing some damage. I can then just advance with Harlan Versh. He's getting boosted to hit, boosted damage, and then, you know, I'm shooting also with the Storm Wall. Maybe I can get some other Nis shot, but I'm really thinking I can do this. Now, I measure and measure and measure, and it's going to be close. But really, I kind of just here's the other issue I saw too. With my deployment and the way I suddenly remembered that he also has Ashes to Ashes, and if he casts that on my objective, it's going to start killing off all my key models here, which is going to cause me a lot of trouble. And I could go up in feet more on the left side and try and kill off a lot of these gators and stuff, but because I was so defensive with my Nis, I won't get a lot of those shots. A lot of them will be out of range. So I look at this, I think about it for a while, and I decide to go for the assassination. But I'm out. It was heartbreaking, but basically I go up there with Siege, I go and do Force Hammer, and it turns out I'm like a millimeter out. In fact, I thought I was totally safe because after I charged, I measured it, and it seemed right, but after I started saying I was going to cast it, we pulled out the little precision templates to make sure, and I was literally a millimeter out. So that was heartbreaking, but in my position, I thought, well, I'm probably just going to die anyway, so I'm going to go for this still. So I dedicate, I put up the foxhole over on his side because I'm allowed to see models, or through models that are there, and doing that, then Harlan Versh can hopefully move up and then shoot him down. And then I can try doing whatever shots else I can. But it turns out Harlan Versh is also just out. So really, all the measurements where it worked out just perfectly last game, this game, it's all falling apart. So really, I am now in a hell of a lot of trouble. And I mean, my feet is gone too. My feet is going to be doing absolutely nothing. And so really, I'm just going to go and try and jam. So the Rangers run up, the Nis Hunters run up, the Gun Mages run up, Stormwall runs up, everything just to try and get things in the way to try and survive. And this is a horrendous situation, and I'm already kicking myself, wishing I could go back in time, but yeah, now I have to kind of sleep in the bed I made. So on his turn, yeah, as you can see, I was frickin' slaughtered. You know, yeah, pretty much he now is careful with the gladiator and it moves around the objective. So if I slam it, it's going to hit the objective, or it move Hexus, who moves a little bit to the side between the gators and also his Ashes to Ashes, and then his mammoth charging in. I end up having almost nothing left. All the Rangers are gone. I'm down to one Nis, Ian Holt, Squire Reinhold, and the Gun Mages. Like, that is all I have. I've lost everything else, and clearly I am just kind of screwed. So at this point, attrition is off the board. I'm not going to win off Death Clock, so I decide I might as well go for a secondary assassination. What I'm going to do is, because he's up here now with Orin Midwinter saying no magic, so I can't really place a new template where I need it for the foxhole, I'm going to leave that one where it is, upkeep it, and then I'm going to aim, try and shoot Hexus, because he's still just camping like 2, and maybe the Gun Mages can get around and shoot him from the other side. I'm going to need good dice, but at this point, it's my best shot. So that's what I do, and it just completely fails. Reinhold's able to do some pretty cool things, and he's able to kill off one of the Pain Givers and kill off Orin Midwinter, so that's something. Iana misses to hit Hexus with harm, so that sucks. Then I start shooting with Siege, doing some pretty good damage. I hit him twice, do some really big damage. He transfers those over to the Mammoth. So now he's sitting there with no transfers, and I got 7 Gun Mages that can hopefully shoot him down. Now, I have one model I have to shoot out of the way, but otherwise I can now put everything in the Hexus, and if I get some good spikes, I can take him down. Well, the first 3 Gun Mages miss the Pain Giver that was in the way. So after losing those, and of course, I mean, I'm really down on the dice anyway, the assassination does not happen. I have the Squire go to get in the way of the Mammoth and get in the zone so I can contest it, and I just wait to die. And that's what happens. He puts a spell on the Gators here so they're even stronger. He uses the Gladiator to slam a Gator through me, and then 2 of the Gators charge Siege and take him down. And it was just, oh man, just, it really hurt to get, I mean, I was slaughtered. Like, there is no other way to say this game. I was destroyed. Now, looking back, I just should not have gone for the assassination. I'm not normally an assassination guy. I usually like using siege for the attrition and all that, but I don't know if I was a little bit more tempted because of how it worked last game, and I felt like a genius because it worked so well last game. You know, I really could have done this differently, and I didn't. Again, part of it was because I was too defensive on the first turn, so that my NIS and stuff were too far back, but looking back on it, this could have gone so much better. Well, I mean, it's hard not to be worse. You know, like, this is pretty much as bad as you could do. When we counted up the points, I got, like, no points, no control points, and this was a horrendous defeat. So, either way, you know, hey, I got to play against a great-looking army, and I can kind of learn that when I have an assassination where the numbers of it working are good, but the fact whether it could be in range or not is really in question, don't even tempt it. Just go for attrition, you know, unless it's desperate. And there you go. So my hopes for going into the tournament and being in the top 3 are now very, very... It's going to be tough. You know, I'm going to have to hope now that I come in 3rd with some tie breaks. But hey, you know, if nothing else, I really want to try and end the day with no more losses. So we'll see if I can do that. Alright, game 3 will be against another Grand Prairie guy. This is Jesse, who normally comes down to Edmonton for our stuff, so great to finally have a game. Like, this is the first time we've played, and he is running Epic Madrak. And this is another awesome looking army, and should be interesting, but Siege is my normal troll drop. He has 2 units of warders and a unit of gators here, so this is pretty much exactly what my Siege list wants to face. So this is what it looks like. I have the same list as before, and on his side there, he has, like I said, Epic Madrak with an Impaler and an Axer. There's the 2 Warders and the Gators I talked about. There's also the Stone. There is a Fellcaller, Chronicler, I believe it's called. Also a Champ Hero in the Burrowers, and maybe some other solo. Like Moses, you know, Troll Moses is there. But really, the scenario here is one that's pretty damn hard to win by scenario. You need, okay, you first to 5, you can control the zone for 1, dominate for 2, but you can't do that to destroy their objective. The objective is worth 1, and you can also dominate the flags on either side for a point as well. So winning by scenario would be tough. Still something you can be watching for, but really I see this game as more of an attrition. I need to get up there, pop my feet, kill off as much of these warders and gators as possible, and then just keep up the grind from there. And we'll see how it goes. So I get the first turn as usual because I just roll like that, and really the normal thing, except I also decide just to charge up the siege. Didn't bother with Foxhole. He doesn't really have a lot of shooting, and I just want to be farther up so that my feet has more threat on his turn. So really everything is just up the field, and I'm waiting to see what he does. Alright, so on his turn, he really splits his forces, and you can see here that there is literally a divide down between what's going which way. On the right side, he has his gators, which are going onto the hill there, and he also has some warders with the Fellcaller behind, and then everything else, along with Epic Madrak, is really pushing to the left side. Now, looking at this and the way the terrain is and stuff, my bet is that he's actually playing this game for scenario. He is planning to jam me on the right with all these guys, whereas he's just going to be slamming through on the left to get to the flag and start dominating for the win. Looking at that then, I'm actually thinking I'm going to do the reverse to him. I'm going to use my NIS and Rangers to jam him on the left, and meanwhile on the right, I'm going to move up, I'm going to feat, I'm going to kill as much of these models as I can, and then start dominating on this flag. And he should have a really hard time trying to recover. The burrowers who burrowed will be the biggest issue here. You can't really see it, but the Axer's here on the right as well. He's just balancing with a proxy base between the 2 units. But the burrowers will be something I'll have to deal with after, and there's just no helping that. It's just something I have to do. So on my turn, that's exactly what I do. The Rangers run up. They do their best to really get up there and jam so that, you know, I'm blocking them all and they can't get through. Otherwise, I am going to be then going up with Siege. He is going to feat. I'm going to drop a ground and pounder on the Gators, which kills most of them. Also does quite a bit of damage to the Axer. I shoot the Axer again with another rocket, roll really well, and actually kill the Axer. So that was amazing. Then I go up with the Gun Mages and Harlan Versh. They finish off the Gators, and then between the Black 13 and also the Stormwall, I go and start killing off a lot of the champs here, the warders. Unfortunately, 2 of them tough. The other warder is on 1 box. I did kill the Fell Caller, but yeah, I mean, I was hoping to kill 2 more of them. I really didn't want to leave much at all, but I did, and I have to deal with that. Otherwise, I put up some covering fire to make it a little bit harder for the burrowers. I put the pot up there just to be in the way. The Nis also tried helping, but again, toughs and all that stuff. And really, yeah, I'm kind of planning it on his turn. He'll kill the Rangers, and then I'm going to re-jam with my Nis. But we'll see what happens. Alright, so on his turn, the burrowers pop up, and they're going to come at me. They're not going to do too much against their actual targets. They didn't kill Harlan Versh, they didn't kill Ryan, but they actually took out the left side of my Stormwall. Like, I don't mean I'm half dead, I mean like all the little L's on my card are all gone. So that kind of really sucks. It's one of those things where I'm wondering a lot of times if I need a tinkerer in here, but that's another topic for another day. Otherwise, things really fall apart on the left side. On the left side, where I thought I had brilliant Ranger positioning, it turned out that with some squeaking around, he was able to get around my Ranger wall. So all of a sudden, they're a lot closer than I thought they were going to be. The whole idea where maybe I could destroy his objective and control the zone with Stormwall, that would be very difficult now. So things are kind of falling apart, but it's still not that bad. Like I said, the Nis are a secondary jam. I'll make sure not to screw up with them, and then I should be able to start dominating already on this following turn after I deal with all these, little burrowers all over the place. So that's really what I do. I have Siege go over. He does a ground and pounder that kills quite a bit of the burrowers there. He's also in a spot there to dominate. He takes another shot at one of the warders, the right warders that had moved over, kills him. Really then what happens after... Oh, sorry, no, he toughs. After that, I have to do some other shots with the Black 13th to really clear things up. Because of some toughs, that even fails. So the Nis they're going to go and kill the last models in the way, and then also jam the best I can. Rangers jamming some more. Holt coming over and shooting down some of the Stone Bearer scribes or whatever you call them. Stormwall goes and destroys the objective. Gun Mages at the top move up to kill that one warder that kept on toughing and make things difficult for the rest. And I'm at 2 points, and he's going to have a hard time getting through there. If nothing else, I mean, if he does break through, the Stormwall can really mess up whatever he's at. So I'm actually pretty happy with this. So on his turn, he does his best to try and grind and get in there. He is not able to get anything to my objective, so that's awesome. He's really just doing his best to try and kill off the Rangers and stuff, but with no bonus to his melee to hit rolls, he just can't deal with the Nis. So he was able to actually kill Selena, but otherwise, there's just all those Nis still in his way, and I still have more to go. So on my turn, I mean, I dominate again. I'm at 3 points. All I'm going to do is super jam now and just go for that scenario. So that's what I do. I use the Stormwall to actually finish off the warders up here, just to really make sure he has nothing here. Gun Mages jamming, everything jamming. I'm not even bothering to really take shots. I'm just jamming. So now I'm at 4 points, and if he doesn't get through, I'm going to win on his turn. So on his turn, he actually gets through quite a bit. I mean, I had a lot there, but really what he decides to do is, with Madrak, really chewing a path through. Now, the problem is that he thought that he could contest doing this, and, casters and warlocks can't contest, but really, even let's say Madrak cleared a hole through here, even if he ran a couple of models through, I would just need to kill them on my turn and win. Something else that he was trying to line up that kind of failed is that his Troll Moses at the top took a free strike and toughed, and all of a sudden he was in the way of Madrak. So I guess his plan at first was to try and work his way through the top, but then his troll Moses being tucked in the way wrecked that. So don't really know how that worked out, but either way, hey, I got another victory and things are still looking good. So game 4, unfortunately, so at this point here there was 3 undefeated. So as long as the pair down 1, there'd be around 5. And so if I could keep this up, I was like, wow, you know, 3rd place could really definitely happen. However, we learned this will be the last game. After this, there might be 2 undefeateds, but they're just going to use tiebreak. So this will be the last game. I'm going to be up against my buddy Ori, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to pull out this epic Haley list. I am tired. You know, we had left at 3 in the morning to get here. I am just ready to crash and go to bed, but I spent so much time making this list and painting it up as much as I can that I've got to try it. So we're going to see how it does here. I'm going to be up against High Reclaimer. This is the guy who does, you know, of course, the Cloud City and all that stuff. So really, I don't think that's going to be a great matchup against me. I don't really need to use a lot of line of sight to deal with what I need to deal with. But there's other parts of his list which will be a big deal. So, looking at my awesome list of everything, in the front I have double Rangers and double Press Gangers. Yay, they're all painted. In the back I have 2 units of Forge Guard, 1 all painted now. And then I also have Alexia and her Risen. I have Gorman, I have Rupert, I have Squire, and I'm running a Lancer with Epic Haley. This one here, you need 5 points, and it's really simple. You get 1 for controlling, 2 for dominating. So for Haley, that can be kind of good, where I can find which zone I want to work on, and I can try and do that. But let's look at his force. He is running his Revenger. He has 2 units of Bastions. He is going to be having Epic Iris. There is Ayan and Holt. There is Gorman. There is also a Orin Midwinter, and then on the left there's the Errants with UA, and on the right there's the Idrian Skirmishers with UA, and they're praying my Press Gangers on the right. Now, the issue with all that's going on is that those 2 units of his can kill a crap load of my guys. You know, the Errants have quick work, the Skirmishers have the whole thing where they can shoot and then charge, so they can really do a lot of damage to me. So I'm going to have to be very careful to mitigate my losses and still be pressing enough that I am going for a scenario. So he actually won first turn, and really he is just going to be running up and getting into position. I can't remember him casting any spells or anything. He's really just getting up there. Now, looking at this, the right zone will be a lot easier to go for than the left, because those, you know, stupid errands can just sacrifice and all that stuff. But I think really what I need to do is try and work on both zones. There's nothing to be lost by, you know, not doing that. I'm sure when I have the Forge Guard come in, they can do their thing. But I really think that I can score in the right zone pretty easily. So I'm going to go up and I'm a feat. So on my turn, it's really just a jamming turn. And I did make it some stupid mistakes here. The Rangers go up and they go and tie up all the errands. On the other side, I actually just advanced with the Rangers so they could take some shots at the Idrians, kill what I can. I killed a couple. I also put 1 onto the Lancer so it could run through, and then I could put through a time bomb to try and kill even more. That scattered and hit Orin Midwinter and his Jack. Boosted to kill Orin Midwinter. It's nice to have him gone. I feeded. I had to TK myself up first, but then I advanced and I was able to catch everything he has in my feet. So that was pretty awesome. And then really otherwise, I'm just running things to position. One of the things I screwed up on is it wasn't until I started moving with the Press Gangers on the left, it's like, why the hell would I engage? He is better at melee than he is at shooting. He won't be able to aim, so I should just be outside, having him take a shot rather than attacking and then maybe getting a shot again. So kind of a mistake there with the Rangers. I mean, I jammed up Epic Iris, which is smart, but I really should have done a lot better and not engage the rest. But that's what happens. Alright, so on his reprisal, as I'm making him activate a few things, there's not very much he can do. I mean, I'm making him do his bastions first so that they can't really get into the zone. He got one into the zone on the left, but that's really it. The errants on the left do quite a bit of, well, not that much damage, really. I mean, they do some, but I thought it was going to be a lot more. On the right side, this was awesome. I get him to do High Reclaimer first. He makes a cloud wall, and then after all the clouds are done, then most of his Idrians can't even see me. So he takes a couple of shots, shoots down a few of my guys, a tough one, but otherwise, this is actually pretty awesome. Looking on the left side between, you know, all my charges and TKs, I think I might be able to actually clear out the left zone. The right zone, I only have to kill 3 guys, so this is looking really good to be a very strong scoring turn. So on this turn, that's really what happens. The Rangers go in, really just to kind of tie up things on the right. The left Rangers, of course, are already tied up already, but here it was awesome. I forgot the clouds also make you -2 to hit. So to hit these Idrians, even with gang, I'm needing 8s. And I was hitting every goddamn one. Just boom, Shanghai, boom, Shanghai. And even worse for my opponent, because they were removed from play, he can't bring those guys back. So, yeah, that was great for me. Right zone is clear. I had the Forge Guard ready to counter. And then I start working on the left. So on the left side, Press Gangers go in, and you know, errants without Defender's Ward aren't really all that awesome. I'm going in there and I'm crushing them. One thing that's kind of interesting is that he does a self-sacrifice to the banner. Now that's something that's usually pretty standard because the banner doesn't really help, but because he did do that to the banner, I was able to start TKing him. So I TK out a couple of models, I just had one more to do, and I didn't get him all the way out of the zone. So I tried taking a shot at him, missed, and at this point here, I could have scored 3 points. If that one errant wasn't there, this would be 3 points, but now I just got 1. So this could be a much better situation, but there you go. Another mistake I made as well is Alexia kind of pushed more to the left side. Alexia really should have been more on the right side, because that's where I expect to lose more models, and I want to be in a spot where it's harder for him to upkeep and cast spells. So, mistakes made. So on his turn here, he is going to be doing a pretty good job to clear some stuff here. So between Gorman doing a little acid bomb and some shots and things, he is actually able to clear up a zone here, get harm onto Haley, and then use his feet to bring up these errants here. So he actually used his bastions to kill his own errants so that he could be bringing them back where he needs them, because hey, Shanghai is awesome with remove from play. So he's going to have 3 models he can charge me, but I mean, honestly, I'm not super worried because with set defense, he's needing like 10 or 11 to hit me. So he charges in, he misses, also missed on Alexia. Otherwise, yeah, he didn't really get much in the zone on the left. It's really just 1 bastion and 1 errant, plus the 4 that came here. But I mean, now with all the Forge Guard, I'm sure I'm going to clear out the left. He put a couple of guys in the zone on the right side, and yeah, that's really it. I mean, I got some corpses, of course, with Alexia, but now I'm just really looking to clean up. I mean, it's not even so much of just killing the guys on the right, or sorry, getting them out of the zone, as it is just, I could just kill them. So that's what I really do. You know, the Forge Guard there on the right, charge into the guy there, or half of them do, and really mess him up. Like, all these last guys here are like on 1 box, so they're really messed up. I just TK him out of the zone then anyway, so the right zone is clear. On the left, between the Forge Guard and Seduction from the last and all the other attacks, the left zone is clear, so I score them both, also dominate. So now I have 4 points. So all I need is 1 more. So he has 1 more shot to try and jam things or something, but with his feet gone, he's pretty much out of options. So he does what he can. I mean, he's also starting to get kind of low on time, but he tries to get some guys into the zones, do some attacks, but that's really it. And so on my turn, I just TK out the models from the zone here and score again, and I win by scenario. All right, so looking at how I did overall for the Steamroller, I was 3-1, which is all right. Did not get as many control points as usual. I mean, I really focused on the end, so I got 10, but normally I'm more around like the 15 point. Looking at the strength of schedule, Chris, the first player I played against, he did really well. He lost no games after losing to me in the first one. So apparently I got maybe kind of lucky to kill him early because clearly he's a really good player. Christian did well. Jesse did well. Ori did well. So my strength of schedule actually wasn't too bad. It was not good enough though. I came in 4th, so no trophy for me. So that's unfortunate. But hey, you know, after having kind of a huge loss like that in the game 2. I mean, look at that. Like, 4 points destroyed and 0 control points. I mean, normally that means you're going to be way down. So I feel good that I did come back. Plus, I also won Best Sportsman. All 4 of these guys all voted for me for who was their, favorite opponent to play, who was the best sport type thing. So that felt really good. That was really nice. So either way, looking at my lists, I really like the Siege list and what I have there. I really like the Haley2 list. Not really any changes I make. I mean, maybe I could drop Rupert from the Haley list, but he's pretty good to have there. So I really like all the elements, and hopefully next time I could do a little bit better. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.